I'm here live from the floor of the NYSE with Jim Cramer. Jim, let's go unfiltered. What's going on the top of your mind?
Well, what I'm looking at is the idea that GE may be real. Larry Culp is a fabulous executive. I've known him for a very long time. We used to own Danaher for Action Alerts. He made Danaher into a great company. He comes in, he's on the board of GE, and then he gets named. By the way, I thought Flannery was doing a good job too, but he had to do so much unwind. What Larry's done is he's gone division by division by division, and he's gotten control of power. That had been my biggest worry. Power had been the black hole. I now think he's got control of it, and I say that because he actually raised his free cash flow forecast. He would not have done that if he was worried about power anymore. Now, obviously, power still, he would tell you that there's still problems, but it's just no longer a black hole. The actual pastiche of power is a little lean too much to wind, to renewables, but that's what the customer wants. The customer's always right. Remember, it's not always windy, it's not always sunny, so you still need natural gas turbines, which is good for them. The aerospace business is definitely strong. Organic orders, organic growth there, fantastic. Obviously, once again, like Honeywell, like United Technologies, the 737 MAX is crucial. If Boeing shuts down that line, or if they can't get that thing working, then I think that you're going to be in a situation where GE's can have another setback. They need that free cash flow. They need the free cash flow to continue to grow. But I feel strongly that that Culp is, let's say, I don't want to say it's necessary. I say by half. I would say by all. If I weren't so worried about the 737 MAX, I would say by all, get in. The negative people are lucky if the stock goes back to 8. I think that I very much want to go back with my group, with Jeff and Zev, read the conference call, and make a decision about whether we got to go all in with Larry Culp right now. That's how much I think that man is. That's how good he is. He's very, very good. He's very confident, very smart. One of the smartest guys I talk to. Makes me love business. I mean, I'm just in love. There's certain people, like I have a funny job. I speak to a lot of executives and I talk to them behind the scenes, whatever. But you try to figure out who's got game. Culp has game. He's got his arms around the problem. Now look, he's not Belichick. That's Lisa Sue. But I am. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the turn at GE, and I know my friend Stephanie Link, who worked with me for so long at Action Alerts, is adamant about the turn, and Tusa isn't. But when it comes from JP Morgan, if you're going to match Steve Tusa against Stephanie Link, I'm going to take Stephanie Link. She's that good.
Now, while we had GE earnings out this morning, we also have the Fed decision later today.
Yes.
And we also have Game 7 of the World Series. But Jim, I want to ask, let's compare this for a minute. Is this the moment, is this going to be 3 rate cuts and you're out for Jerome Powell?
Well, look, I think that the greatest thing that could happen for the president is that Jerome Powell cuts and then shuts up. That's not going to happen. I advise that they stop doing this thing where they just take questions from Woodward High School. I mean, the Bethesda area. I mean, he has to get control of those meetings. If he did, he'd just submit questions, and you submit 10 questions or take 5 questions. But because he's getting good at saying nothing, but he's got to say nothing for a shorter period of time. So you cut and you wait for the data. And if he says that, cut and data dependent, then you're fine. If he says cut and done, which would be ridiculous, but if he says that, then you're going to get a good chance to buy a lot of stocks.
You mentioned Lisa Sue earlier. I want to circle back to AMD's earnings, which happened after the bell yesterday.
Yeah.
And I want to note that Eric Jonza, who covered AMD's earnings over on TheStreet.com and on Real Money, he noted that the short win for AMD right now is the weak game console demand. So I'm wondering, until we see new game consoles, is this kind of a wait-and-see moment for investors?
No. What you have to do is you have to get in it because the growth path is multi-year. So you have to use the momentary dip. You're not going to get a big dip back to 30, I don't think. But if you use momentary dip to buy. Now, we own NVIDIA. Lisa just... she's related to Jensen Huang at NVIDIA. Of course, she was voted number one CEO by HBR last year, and Jensen's this year. And She knows that I named my dog NVIDIA, and she is keen to recognize that I think that Jensen's fabulous. But I do believe that if we didn't own NVIDIA, we would most certainly own AMD.
All right, Jim, it's been so great to talk to you today.
I'm wondering, I've been waiting. We had Grubhub, we had Yum, we had Wingstop, which I have on tonight. We've had a lot of the Chipotle. I'm now debating, we want Wendy's. I'm now trying to figure out whether McDonald's is full at $193 has fully discounted Wendy's breakfast. I'm beginning to think that when you circle back to the restaurants, McDonald's might be good. Just saying it. I just saying it. McDonald's might be good. Different stance. Because I was upset when the quarter came out because of Wendy's. I had Wendy's on when they announced the breakfast, and breakfast was something McDonald's owned. Wendy's is such a good company, and they're hiring 20,000 people, so they're obviously really, really serious about this. So I think the stock went down, and I think it's now at this point overly punished and getting very interesting.
There you go. There's your stock advice for the day. Jim, thanks so much for joining. Guys, we are now heading over to our Action Alerts Plus daily rundown show over on actionalertsplus.com. You're not going to want to miss it because we have Apple and Facebook earnings after the bell, and we got to talk about that. And I'll be covering Apple and Facebook over on TheStreet's Twitter.
I
will.
That's terrific.
And
you'll be terrific.
Thank you. And Eric Jonza, who we both adore, will be covering Apple on the live blog on TheStreet.com. So, of course, check in there after the bell today. But before that, head on over to actionalertsplus.com. I'm Catherine Ross, and I'll see you tomorrow.